Hello, my name is Mira Wrights and Lions, and I'm in my first year of studying fine arts at Elam in the University of Auckland, and I'm making this video to explain how I go through with my creative process in terms of what influenced me and what things I source as kind of inspiration, but also that influence kind of how I go about creating just any kind of artistic expression that I have. Okay, the first thing that I'd like to discuss, which I think is really significant, kind of idea behind double albums in music, because I'm someone who's very musical and very influenced by music and by music culture. So I guess like the idea or the thing behind a double album is that it's like two whole albums, or it's just a bigger album where you have more material, more songs, and oftentimes it's kind of insinuated that double albums will have material that's a bit experimental. And so that is something that I kind of find myself doing. As a person with ADHD, I find myself going in one direction, and then if I feel like it, I will completely like change. And I've recently felt this quite a lot with my video work that I have been doing in fine arts, my 2 to 5 class. And so that has been kind of how I've gone about structuring videos with different parts. It's just kind of like this art of sectioning out different ideas and completing them to their finest point, which I find far more interesting because I'd rather have multiple pieces that give different feelings than give just one big piece that is just one feeling, because I feel like I jump between ideas, I jump between feelings. I think about like in painting where I've done that as well, where I've kind of done a basis or done like yeah, and then like steadily built on top of it with different ideas and stuff going, I guess with my mood and how I'm feeling and what kind of things I think will be really fun, stuff that I'll enjoy. Yeah, so I find that that's quite an influential idea, and kind of not theory, but just something that I'm working with, something that I have in my mind that keeps going. And I'll expand on that a little bit more with exploring specific like musical inspiration, and then exploring some kind of cultural relations stuff. Albums like the Beatles self-titled album, whatever. That's like probably like the most famous one. Then there's this Rolling Stones XL at Main Street. Then there is Pavement, who have Wowie Zowie, which is probably the most influential band that I guess that I like really relate to, really fun, like I get it. I get it on a like it'll be like very fun for my brain to kind of process musically and like lyrically, and how they go about and making their music. But that specific album, Wowie's, I'll expand on further. Other albums, I think Double Nickels on the Dime, classic punk, where you get into kind of exploring these ideas of just kind of lyrical content that's kind of just like one after the other and exploring these like little musical ideas, which I think is super influential on me. And Zen Arcade by Husker Du, and the last one that I'd say probably has like a good amount of influence on me, Daydream Nation by Sonic Youth. Those are all really influential pieces because I feel like they have lots of different ideas going for them and lots of different kind of like thematic dips and valleys. It feels like you get to explore the mind of a person rather than having like an album be this one idea. Like think about like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. That's kind of like one significant piece that all kind of works together, or like almost. I find that it's really fun to jump between ideas because it can be very like abrupt for the viewer, for whoever is observing what is happening, because it's fun to see how ideas mesh together. I think that that's something that I have a lot of fun with. Thoughts in general, how they can kind of like mash up and be very relative for each other. And it might not be like a masterpiece, perfect, completely like a refined thing, but I think if in the moment, in the absolute present, if I'm feeling like it's the right thing to do, then I'll do that, and then it's always going to be in the past, done. So that's something that I think is super significant about double albums, and that kind of I'd say that like the philosophy behind them, but it's not like Kant or Freud philosophy. There is a podcast that I really like to listen to, which is called Bandsplain. It is hosted by this woman called Yassi Salet. She brings on hosts and stuff that really like specific bands, and they explore lots of the narrative of the band's timeline of like their existence, their members, everything that happens within the band, but then exploring, I guess, like lyrics, sound, influences, the mindset, and really exploring that kind of stuff. Because I think that there are plenty of like YouTube videos, plenty of other podcasts that kind of do that, but I feel like specifically for like the bands that she explores, they're very like alternative rock and like 90s kind of music. So that's really kind of fun and interesting because that feels a bit more relative than, I don't know, like the Byrds or the Beatles or the Beach Boys, or like anything that feels a bit more like primitive in terms of like the technology and stuff, because I think that that's super influential on like culture now. In Bandsplain, there's like this specific episode which I have downloaded, which I listen to not constantly, but like, if I'm feeling like it, I'll listen to it whenever I'm on the bus or going for a walk or something. But that's the episode that I have the most like wired into my brain, because it's a really fun episode, and it's like I like hearing about information about Pavement and then opinions on Pavement, because I really like when I like something and someone else likes something, but maybe they're for different reasons. Maybe they have different like backgrounds that they're coming from, so they can approach not Pavement, but like the art in a different lens or something. So that's something that I really appreciate in terms of like being an artist and making art. The second, like, I'd say big, like, kind of cultural touch piece that I really enjoy are these, like, green screen videos that this YouTuber streamer named German985 does. who is super kind of influential just because of how he's kind of this original guy who's making content outside of like this outside of like streaming games and playing games, or it's far more interactive with like the audience, where he's like allowed them to be able to make parodies of movies or make their own movies using his like green screen videos, as like a free source, which I think is super cool, because I feel like that engages like the audience, and it also gives the template for something to be made if people are creative and going for it. So I think that like philosophically, I find like that is super fun and super cool, because I think that that allows people to like just keep making stuff. And this is not related to, I guess, like my actual thinking behind my working, but it's just something that I more admire and I myself have utilized as a tool. But I really like just like YouTube videos, and being able to kind of have something that's like digestible, especially with video, using video as a art form. I like having something that is like, I don't want to say time consuming, but I want to have something that is like packaged and able to be processed, because I think that if you're going to have people wait or stay on one feeling, then you're going to have to make it something that holds emotion. Like you have to make something tense to keep the scene going, or you have to make something really funny. You have to keep if you're keeping a joke going, then it's got to, it's got to hit. And so that's something that I find that I'm like very controlling over, and that I think that that's relative to my own consuming as like a YouTube person who views YouTube videos, and like just any kind of like social media videos. I find that that's something that's pretty prevalent for my own like artistic output. And I find that when I'm watching these like more arty kind of things, videos, that it doesn't, not that it doesn't resonate with me as much. It resonates, but it's in a like a far different way from how I resonate with like the idea of what a video can be, because I feel like it's so, they can be so one note that it's almost like a moving sculpture, whereas I feel like what you can do with video is so much like more. Like I get the idea that it's like a moving picture or whatever, where it's like you're watching something being able to move and contort around the screen like that. But personally, I feel like that is kind of a very basic approach to how you can mess around with it, because I feel like I've specialized this semester in looking at green screen technology and utilizing that in my own video work. So I found that that is like, it opens the doors, and especially like with post video editing software, and utilizing that to make like videos that are, I don't want to say like movie studio quality, because they're not. But you can make something that is like, you can digest something that is like a narrative, like a story, or something that has this theme that you get a lot of different ideas by utilizing a bunch of different videos, templates, different like yeah, just different ideas. I think that that's something that's super interesting and something that's really relevant to my own working. So yeah, those are definitely some of like the influences I have just by being a consumer, being someone that watches and is interested in videos and information and like the digital world. But I could talk about this forever, but I think that's where I'll leave it. And I'd also like to add that I didn't want this to come across like I hadn't done research on like artists that use like videos as a medium, because I have done, like, I've looked into it, but I feel as if how I approach it and how I kind of use this medium is a bit different. And so I feel like it's better to stay truer to my like influences than to try and be like, oh yeah, this artist or blah 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 influenced me so much that I was so inspired, but I had to, and I'm trying to like squeeze in some kind of like a, not excuse, but like trying to like shoehorn it in after I've already made something. I just wouldn't feel like that's like true to my art style, and how I make video art. Yeah. And I'd like to add that I could, talk forever about this kind of stuff because, well, I simply could. Like, I believe I could, like, talk until I die, or at least become, like, heavily unable to do so. But this is all that will be seen, will be evidence. But if you want to check, if you want to, like, see my knowledge, confirm that I'm like this, not well read, but just like this is all my thinking or whatever. Yeah, you can talk to me and I will gladly talk some more. So, bye.